Hey good people, and welcome back to Stay Tuned Reviews, a place where you can get a quality review in 10 minutes or less, and my ultimate goal is to keep viewers like you anxious for more content. And normally on Sundays, I take a break from uploading new content. However, today's a special day, because in a few moments, I'll be sharing my thoughts and feelings on episode 1 of OWN's new show, Marry Me Now. And for the purposes of the review, I'll be explaining the concept of the show, as well as what happened in episode 1, and lastly, I'll give the show an honest rating. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. Now I know many of you out there have seen or heard of the trend that involves women proposing to their men. These proposals are usually done in a public setting, and from the looks of things, the men who are proposed to usually end up saying yes. Well folks, the show Marry Me Now takes this concept and it runs with it. On Marry Me Now, a woman, with the help of host Rebecca Lynn Pope, plans out a very elaborate scheme to propose to her boyfriend and marry him all in the same day. That's right folks, this show gives women the opportunity to not only take full control of the planning and invitation process of the wedding, but it puts all the pressure on the woman's boyfriend to say yes to the proposal, or everything that was done over the course of the episode was done for nothing. Now, I don't think I have to tell you how foolish and insane the concept of the show is. First of all, not too many men that I know of would be down for having a woman to propose to them. And even if they were, there would have to be some sort of preliminary conversations about marriage between the two of them prior to the question being popped. And I would think that both man and woman would want to get to know each other's family members, get the blessing of the other person's family, and attend some sort of premarital counseling before jumping into the fire. But this show doesn't care about any of that. So in the first episode of Marry Me Now, we as the audience are introduced to Mooch and Ken. Mooch and Ken met on Facebook, and they've been dating for almost 2 years. Mooch has never been married before, but Ken has, and we as the audience aren't really told why his marriage ended. During this episode, Ken comes into the process thinking that he and Mooch are on a reality TV show that'll help them find a house that they can move in together. And while Ken is doing the work to find a house that they may like, Mooch starts her assignments. Her first assignment is to let her mother and grandmother know about her plans to propose and marry Ken at the same day. When Mooch meets up with them, they both shockingly seem pretty cool with Mooch doing this, and that's where the first red flag comes in when watching this episode. You really want me to believe that this is the first time that Mooch is telling her mother and grandmother about this insane plan, and they both are cool as cucumbers about it, not asking any questions or trying to talk her out of it. Okay, fair enough. I'll roll with it for now. Mooch then meets with her father and her brother to talk about the same thing, and both father and brother seem to be cool with it, and they don't try to talk her out of it. I will give them credit in trying to ask Mooch about her plan, just in case Ken says no to her proposal. But Mooch is so confident that Ken will say yes that nothing can change her mind. And that's red flag number 2. The father seems to be an old school type of guy, and unless something happened behind the scenes, then I have to assume that Ken never spoke to Mooch's father about getting his blessing to marry her, nor does Mooch's father have a clear understanding of Ken's intentions on seeing Mooch. But of course, I'm still rolling with it and seeing what happens through the episode. Further along, Mooch meets her sister, breaks the news to her, and the sister's perfectly fine with it. So in this point of the show, my spider sense is tingling and I'm trying to make sense of things. Either Mooch told her family about this way in advance and they're just pretending to hear about it for the first time on this show, or these folks are all just paid actors and the show is super scripted. Nevertheless, the show continues on and Ken meets back with Mooch so that they can meet Ken's sister and niece. At this point in the episode, Ken still believes that he is on a show to help find a house for him and Mooch. So Ken and Mooch meet up with Ken's sister and niece for the first time. This meeting goes pretty well, and it seems to be the end of that. Prior to the actual proposal, Mooch's sister helps her pick out a wedding dress, and Mooch's father and brother help her pick out rings, and there's absolutely no help from Ken's family or desire to reach out to his mother about the wedding. In other words, this episode was 95% about how Mooch felt that she was ready to get married now, and how Ken needed to be on her page when it came to marriage. So Mooch waits until the day of the wedding to tell Ken's sister about her plan to propose to Ken and get married in the same day. And Ken's sister seems very cool about it, which is the final red flag for me. The sister had next to no time to get to know Mooch, and she's not serving as the voice of reason to the madness that's going on. In her interview with production, she shares that her biggest fear is that Ken might say no to the proposal. But at this point, why would he? Everyone else seems to be okay with what's going down. So we're finally down to the moment of truth. Ken is meeting with producers of the show, and they're still talking about houses. Mooch walks up behind him in full makeup and a wedding dress, and with a huge crowd sitting nearby to propose to him. This is when Ken finally learns about the concept of the show, and the last 3 days that he spent house hunting was for nothing. Mooch proposes to him, and Ken says yes. But one thing I noticed about Ken was that he wasn't really happy about all of this. As Ken continues to process what happened, Mooch tells him that all he has to do is get fitted for a tux because she has planned everything else. Now put yourself in Ken's shoes. The person that you love essentially deceived you through an elaborate scheme just to propose to you. And in this process, they did all the planning for a special day that the two of you should be sharing. They didn't bother telling your own mother about it, as well as your friends and other family members that you might want to invite. And if you turn down their proposal, you seem like the jerk that ruined everything. It's my opinion that Ken said yes because he was in a no-win situation. So we see Ken putting on his tux, and he's not even cracking a smile or showing any emotion during the process. He takes his place at the wedding, and Mooch is escorted down the aisle by her father. The ceremony went on like a normal one would, but from Ken's side of the family, it only seemed like his sister and his niece were the only ones there. And they were sitting in the back of the audience of all places. But when the episode ended, it showed that Mooch eventually met with Ken's family and his mother, and the two of them were still looking for a home. Now on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll rate this episode a solid 2. If these people are real, and everything that happened on the episode was authentic, then these folks must be living in the Twilight Zone. Because I don't know too many people who would agree to do any of this and not raise any questions or have any objections. And in doing this, Mooch's feelings and wishes were the only things that were taken into consideration when planning for the wedding and inviting close friends and family to witness the special day. If it's fake, then I wouldn't be surprised because the show seemed to be entirely too scripted for me. And I'm not even sure if I want to continue reviewing this series, but I would not recommend this foolishness to anybody that is questioning whether or not to see it. If anything, I want that hour that I had to watch it back. But this marks the end of my review. If you have any questions, concerns, or criticisms about the show or my review, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reply to each and every one of them. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.